Good morning. This is a video I really never wanted to have to end up making. But at the end of the day, transparency needs to happen. Okay? And I feel after I have made multiple attempts at contacting the North Carolina AG's office, I have contacted the main district attorney for Cleveland County. I've also expressed this to the district attorney, assistant district attorney that has handled previous cases and current cases. Okay, so this past Monday, and mind you, I was never subpoenaed. Okay, they never remind you of a court date. Whomever is dealing with the subpoenas in Cleveland County, they do not make sure people are made aware, if you're a plaintiff, that you have court. I was only called by the courthouse a month prior because I wasn't served that time either. So it makes me look bad in the eyes of the court because I'm not showing up to a person that has caused a great ordeal of issues inside of Cleveland County. For the past 6 years, my life has been made a living hell. The reason it has been made a living hell, well, we have wonderful police officers, great police officers here in Cleveland County. But police officers can only do so much. They can't uphold the law if the people inside the courthouse won't do nothing about it, okay? So, at the end of the day, this gentleman has violated. We're going to go back and we're going to talk. Because our court system and the powers that be inside Cleveland County allow this person to be free. Okay? So, he has violated a 50B twice. He is well known to use meth and alcohol. There's things called meth psychosis, okay? And he is very much aware. He has experienced that. But this person has also reached out to the county of Cleveland County because he has a quote-unquote mentor that is also making my life a living hell by contacting the county and my landlord saying that I'm not allowed to have vehicles in my yard, I'm not allowed to have animals and I live in the county, mind you. And if you look at anybody else's house around mine, we all look the same. Okay? But yeah, he wants to contact Mr. Powell with the Cleveland County and try to say that I need to clean up my yard, but their yards are just as bad. Then he has contacted my landlord on multiple occasions, lying about me getting arrested, all the while he's getting arrested. Mr. Ledford, who used to be one of the assistant district attorneys back in 2023, I've notified Mr. Ledford that he is violating a no contact order. The district attorney done nothing about it. It was sent in email. Let's see, that was in 2023. I have filed grievances with North Carolina to no avail. It seems like North Carolina seems to like to let people run amok out on over $100,000 in bonds and still create havoc for the people that he is jailed for almost killing one lady, his ex-wife. He almost killed her and then decided to turn on me now because I'm the one that helped his wife get away and his children. But at the end of the day, this gentleman is a very senile individual. He has told the law that I have stole his goats, that I have stole things from his home, etc. All the while, I had permission by Elise's dad to be on the property, because in 2024 he decided that he was going to try to kill his wife again, and they had a multitude of animals, okay, that were living in fields. It was freezing temperatures outside, and they were both, the wife was going to rehab and he went to jail. Well, Cleveland County Animal Control begged me to take these animals. Please, will you help us with these animals? They begged me, okay? And I did. I helped them. But they failed to document. They documented nothing they told me. They told me from that point forward, because of the death that they had saw and that they had known that had happened, that he would no longer be allowed to own any more animals. Well, that never got documented with Cleveland County Police Department, and that never got documented in the activity card. But I do have text messages going back and forth from said, she was the supervisor at the time, that was pushing me to get rid of Bo, who was a dog, who they would not take because it was Christmas. They begged me to keep it in freezing cold temperatures because they just didn't want to have to deal with it at up yonder. They left me pigs. They left me over 100 ducks. And some other animals. And they didn't document that properly. I have the pictures, though, of the dead animals, if the district attorney is so inclined. Because at the beginning of this year, Mr. Lloyd was frantically searching and in hysteria and using binoculars to look over in my house, walking up and down the road, claiming to look for an animal that he wasn't even supposed to own. And I've been told by Cleveland County at the courthouse, by his attorney, by the district attorney, that what he did previous has no bearing on current cases. Well, yes, it does. He broke a law. I was told that he wasn't supposed to own another animal, that if he had owned another animal, that he would be charged. And so I'm bringing it up in a court of law, and the judge, the district attorney, his attorney, want to tell me to shut the fuck up. They don't say that directly, but that has no bearing, they say. Well, how does it not have any bearing when he wasn't even supposed to be able to own another animal? Answer that, Cleveland County. And I have the text messages from the animal control officers as well. We'll call and talk to her. I'll actually sit in a room with everybody that was there that day. Every police officer and every animal control officer that was there that day. We can all sit down. I have no reason to lie. On 2026, I wrote and asked for all information regarding all the cases, because he's been continuing allowed to aggravate me, bother me. In 2024, I filed a grievance against Mr. Ledford because he allowed David Sweppy to take me into the back before he ever spoke to me. And this is when the said person came after my daughter with a knife. And they wouldn't charge him with coming after a juvenile with a knife because it was a juvenile's word against an adult. So they did it as communicating threats. Well, Mr. Lefford never stood up for my child. Never. Never. He let the man get off. He allowed Mr. Sweppy to play with court dates, and he played with court dates, and I never got served. I wonder why that is. Here's your $20. Don't make sure she don't get it. You can't tell me that doesn't go on. But Mr. Sweppy told me that I needed to sweep it underneath the rug, that this was just all a misunderstanding. And not even 2 years later, sir, he almost killed his wife twice. And now the current case that they have in Superior Court with Mr. Teddy, guess who paid for Mr. Teddy? Well, he sure didn't. They're allowing the DV victim in the case to pay for the attorney. I'm sorry, I have a better moral compass than that. I would look at the DV victim and said, no, I'm not going to take your money. Let's go further. So when I filed a grievance to the state, it came back and they stuck up for Mr. Old Ledford. Oh, and here, you want to see the text messages to the animal control worker to know that I'm not lying back in 2024? All day right there. All day right there. She even says Merry Christmas. It ruined my whole Thanksgiving, my whole Christmas. And yet they couldn't even document correctly. This man was never held on any animal cruelty charges either, like I was told he would be. They never charged this man for dead animals. They never charged this man for using taxpayer money to feed these animals. None of that. But I also saved Cleveland County a ton of money because, mind you, this was in November and December and the beginning of 2025 in January that I was taking care of animals. And if they would have had to transport them, per what they said, it would have cost them thousands. So I supposedly saved them thousands, but yet they just decided to shit all over me and not do the paperwork correctly. And also, in the animal control reports, those reports don't go back all the way either. Because prior to 2024, they had a ton of goats that would always get out. And they would cause car accidents. And the goats would die. Let's keep going. Oh, here's a dead rabbit. You want to see the dead rabbit? Right there it is. That's a dead animal. And they never charged the man. Never. But yet, at the beginning of this year, he was allowed to harass me in the disguise of looking for a kitten that he was never supposed to be able to own. And if it's a lie, Cleveland County Animal Control told it. Now let's go to officer text messages, shall we? Okay. Multiple text messages to officers trying to help guide them. And these are just from all over. I mean, when they would ask questions, if he was home, etc. Multiple times of me helping law enforcement help obtain this man. Now we're going to get into how they've allowed him to abuse the system. Okay? Just because you bond out and just because you're afforded an attorney doesn't mean the system should abuse that. Okay? So this Monday, I'm going to show you a pattern here. Okay? This past Monday, I had court. The district attorney that was in my courtroom and 2 allowed this behavior. I sat there to 10:30. I brought my binder with me. I brought my USB with videos. I brought everything. And I left because it was he done this against my child. So I left her in the car with another person because she honestly is terrified of this man. Okay. And so I sat there till 10:30. Her assistant comes to me and says, well, we're going to no-call him and order an FTA. I proceed with, are you sure? He says, yes. Then I get a call that evening about 2 o'clock or a little after that says his attorney, Mr. Teddy, came in 45 minutes after I had left and begged the court. Oh, he was in courtroom 1. We had no idea he had court in here. Really? You're a high-paid attorney, okay? A very high-paid attorney, Mr. Teddy, okay? Where's my phone? Mr. Teddy here in Cleveland County is a very, 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 very expensive lawyer. Like, he will not represent you unless you have some money, okay? Or a credit card. Because he likes to be paid, and he likes to be paid good. That's fine and all. But don't make a mockery out of somebody that don't have it, okay? So, when I was there, and previous to that, I had told the courts, look, transportation for me is an issue. I was told that they were aware of his shenanigans with FTAs and how attorneys that he does with, they still allowed it to happen. And this is the same behavior that they allowed with Mr. Sweppy. Okay? They allowed this same behavior with Mr. Sweppy back in 2023. They allowed it back in 2023 for him to not show up to court, for him to do whatever he pleased. Mind you, my daughter at the time was still in Cleveland County schools, and he would, and they knew that I was having to take her out every time. And we would sit there to lunch before they would sometimes order an FTA. Well, and then magically he would come in and they would give him another continuance, and he wouldn't show up to that shit either. But they did the same thing back in 2023. Cleveland County did. They allowed this man and his attorney to make a mockery out of the court. And, I don't know, making a mockery out of the court? Really? Because the judge that had me this time was not the judge that had us last time. So these judges are not made aware. Neither, the district attorney is made aware, but she doesn't care that she's wasting my time. They claim they do, but do they really? Because at the end of the day, every cop, every attorney, every judge, anybody there doing anything to do with the courts, they're getting paid. Am I? No. I don't get paid to show up to the court multiple times, all the while, because they allow him and his attorney to create shenanigans. They've allowed it since 2023. And it's not... And here's the another problem. They allow this man to continue to run amok. Okay? It would be different if since 2024, 2025, 2023, if he would have straightened up. If this man would have left well enough alone, said, you know what, I done lost my wife, this meth game is not for me, it has taken me down a really long road. If he would have straightened up and left me alone, I'd have left well enough alone. But there's 47 pages of CAD reports to these people's homes. All the way ranging to overdose, to trying to off themselves, to attempted murder. And the CAD reports explain all of it. There's also body cam of them having to hog tie this individual because he is very dangerous when he gets on methylene and alcohol. When he mixes the two, and plus he's not okay up here, you can't sleep at night. Can't. And see, they want to sit there and say when I go to court that none of this 47 pages of CAD reports have nothing to do with what's currently going on. But when you go to court and the state's holding you accountable, they read off everything in your history that they can get their freaking hands on. Legitimately everything. If you had a DUI in 1960 and it's 2026, you can guarantee on everything in you that that DA or that solicitor is going to say, Your Honor, this is his second DUI or his second whatever. They're going to bring it up. Why? Because it shows content of character. And what is you're trying to show behavior, right? Well, why can't I do it in court? If they're allowed to do it, if the district attorneys and solicitors are allowed to use tools to and people's previous experience to explain behavior, why can't I? Why can't I explain it to the courts? Why can't I show evidence that this man has tormented my family since 2020? Why can't I? Why am I not allowed to show proof? I am asking anybody today that come across this video to please share it. Because at this point, there's no accountability for nothing anymore. There's not. And at the end of the day, I don't have $60,000 to obtain a lawyer. I don't. I have an autistic child that I take care of daily. Okay? I don't have 60 grand to go after somebody. The courts should protect women and children. But they do not. There is a total of 2 women in this situation and a total of 3 kids trapped up in this one scenario. And the courts could care less. Like I said, since 2024, when he tried to offer again, he has violated a 50B twice. He also continues to violate my 50C. And the courts will do nothing about it. They make a mockery out of what justice is. Because I guarantee you, if I would have had an attorney Monday besides the district attorney working for me, I guarantee you none of this shenanigans would have happened. But it's all about the money. And if this doesn't prove it's all about the money, and not about who's been hurt, and lives that have almost been lost, and animal lives that have been lost, what's the point? If the justice system is not going to hold people accountable, what's the point? In Cleveland County, you really do have a lot of explaining to do. Because I've already connected the dots. I already have the evidence. You don't want it. I've contacted the head district attorney for Cleveland County. Will not email me back. Will not. All the while, they allow this man to continue to run amok, continue to run free, continue to fail drug tests. Oh, he's out on bond too. Over $100,000 worth of bonds. Still racking up charges. And I just found it really, really funny that a district attorney didn't know that he was sitting in the next courtroom over. I find that really funny. You got a computer right there in front of you, and all you have to do is, and it tells you what's going on with that person today inside your courthouse. And you make a lot of money. You do. And and people don't have money to just say, Oh, okay, well, I gotta go to court today. Let's see if somebody shows up. People don't have money to keep wasting because the court system don't want to do their job. And I'm not being rude when I say that at all. I'm not being rude. But when you know there are juvenile children with autism that are affected in this case, that are extremely terrified, and I've let the district attorney know multiple times. I even let the AG's office know yesterday. And I pretty much got the same thing. Well, we don't care. So is there anybody out there that gives a shit that there's a man that's allowed to almost kill his wife and come after an autistic child that's willing to help me? Because I'm just tired. I'm tired of trying to do everything that I know how to do. I mean, no, I'm not. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars or even $60,000 to pay an attorney to go after this man. I don't have it. You would think the courts would do their due diligence as much as they're paid, but I guess that's asking too much because they couldn't even have enough knowledge to know he was sitting one courtroom over. I mean, how do you not know that? You knew that. You knew it. You knew exactly what was going on. You know what's going on in Superior Court if you're a district attorney. Come on. Y'all all eat together. Don't play people for stupid. But if anybody sees this message, I would greatly appreciate any help, any insight. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm clueless here and I need help. I love y'all guys.